The Chicago Bears have had one of their best off-seasons in recent memory. A lot of people gave it an A+ grade, and honestly, I agree. But here's the thing. It can still get even better. For those who didn't give it an A+, that might change if the Bears make a few key moves. One area they need to focus on? Adding depth to the offensive line. Right now, the Bears have built an impressive group up front. Joe Thuney, Jonah Jackson, Drew Dalman, Darnell Wright, and Braxton Jones give them a strong foundation. They'll probably add another lineman in the draft, but that alone won't be enough. To truly solidify this unit, they need to bring in a few free agent offensive linemen who can step in and keep the line intact if injuries hit. That's what great teams do. They prepare for the worst, so their quarterback, in this case, Caleb Williams, always has protection. One name that should be at the top of their list? Matt Pryor. He played for the Bears last season, and his impact was massive, literally and figuratively. Without him, Caleb Williams might have been sacked more than any rookie in history. Pryor didn't get nearly enough credit for the work he put in, though the NFL did recognize him with a well-earned bonus recently. Pryor is a versatile lineman who can play both inside and at tackle. At 6 feet 7 inches, 332 pounds, he's a big physical presence who helped stabilize the line last year. Before coming to Chicago, he was with the 49ers on a 1-year veteran minimum deal. He had some playing time in Seattle before that, but it was with the Bears that he truly revived his career. His numbers back it up. Pryor earned a 69.9 grade from PFF, ranking 21st among interior offensive linemen. That's a solid rating. But even more impressive, his pass blocking grade was 78.1, ranking 8th among all interior linemen. He was the guy keeping Caleb Williams upright and giving him time to make plays. His run blocking score, 65.9, wasn't quite as high, but he showed the ability to move well for his size, getting to the outside and creating opportunities in the run game. Bottom line, the Bears need to bring Matt Pryor back. Depth on the offensive line is crucial, and he proved last year that he can step in and deliver when called upon. If Chicago wants to give Caleb Williams the best chance to succeed, keeping Pryor should be a no-brainer. Matt Pryor did a great job last season. Yes, he allowed 7 sacks over more than 1,000 snaps. But let's be real. He was the only consistent piece on that offensive line. He had no real help. He was constantly trying to clean up for others, so it's hard to blame him for those sacks. What stands out more? He allowed 0 quarterback hits and only 24 pressures across all those snaps. That's impressive. The NFL clearly saw his value. According to Brad Biggs of the Chicago Tribune, Pryor received the 5th highest bonus in the league through the NFL's performance-based pay program, over $1 million in bonus pay. You don't get that kind of recognition for just being a backup who stepped in a few times. Pryor played in all 17 games for the Bears, making 15 starts, mostly at right guard. He was a rock on an offensive line that was constantly dealing with injuries. The Bears have struggled with injuries up front for years. They've made moves to address that, but having a guy like Pryor as a depth piece could be huge. He fits the mold of those big physical interior linemen like the Eagles have. And beyond that, he's versatile. If Jonah Jackson or Joe Thuney goes down, Pryor can step in. He even filled in at right tackle for a game last season. That kind of flexibility makes him a valuable asset, and bringing him back should be an easy decision for Chicago. Now, if the Bears want to keep building their offensive line, there's another move they should consider: signing veteran center David Andrews. A 2-time Super Bowl champion, Andrews was unexpectedly released by the Patriots last week. Even he was shocked by the move. But that means the Bears have a chance to bring him in and reunite him with Joe Thuney, his former teammate in New England. These two were a dominant duo in the middle of the Patriots' offensive line, protecting Tom Brady and helping him win his last 2 Super Bowls with New England. Andrews' leadership and experience would be invaluable for a young quarterback like Caleb Williams. Even Patriots owner Robert Kraft acknowledged Andrews' impact, saying his leadership couldn't be overstated and that his influence on the franchise would be felt for years. That kind of presence is exactly what the Bears need up front. If Chicago can bring back Pryor and add a proven veteran like Andrews, their offensive line depth would go from solid to elite. And for a team building around a rookie quarterback, that could make all the difference. David Andrews brings something the Bears desperately need: leadership. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion, and while he's never been to a Pro Bowl, that doesn't take away from his impact. The Patriots made it clear how much he meant to their team, with Robert Kraft calling him a great leader and praising his contributions to the franchise. That's exactly the type of veteran presence this young Bears team could benefit from, especially on the offensive line. Pairing him with Joe Thuney could do wonders for this group. Of course, there are concerns. Andrews is over 30, and his body has taken its share of hits. Last season, he played in just 4 games due to injury. His PFF grade was 58.7, ranking 40th among centers. His pass blocking and run blocking grades were both in the 60s, and he allowed 1 sack and 5 pressures in limited action. The reality is, his best years are behind him. But even with that, he could still be a valuable depth piece. The Bears need insurance at center. Drew Dalman is one of the best young players at the position, but injuries have kept him off the field at times. If something happens to Dalman again, the Bears need a reliable backup who can step in immediately. Andrews could fill that role, bringing experience, leadership, and a veteran presence that a young offensive line could learn from. And let's be honest, he probably has a chip on his shoulder. Spending a decade with the Patriots only to be unexpectedly released might just give him the motivation to prove he's still got something left. That could be a win for the Bears. Now, there's one more guy who could help this offensive line: Will Hernandez. The former second-round pick spent last season with the Arizona Cardinals and could be another solid depth addition for Chicago. Will Hernandez is another name the Bears should consider. A former second-round pick, he's a big, powerful presence on the interior. Back at the 2018 Combine, he put up 37 reps on the bench press, showing just how strong he is. At 6 feet 2 inches, 327 pounds, he was drafted 34th overall by the New York Giants and has since proven he can be a valuable depth piece. Last season with the Arizona Cardinals, Hernandez posted a solid 69.3 PFF grade, ranking 33rd among interior offensive linemen. His pass blocking stood out the most, with a 74.2 grade that placed him 22nd in the league. His run blocking grade was lower at 66.0, ranking 49th. But here's the key stat: 0 sacks allowed, 0 quarterback hits, and only 8 pressures. That's the kind of protection you want, especially as a backup. The bottom line? You can never have too much depth, especially on the offensive line. Injuries happen every season, and having reliable veterans who can step in is critical. Hernandez isn't coming in to start, but that's fine. He's the kind of guy who adds stability to the roster. If the Bears can land 3 solid veterans, it would do wonders for their offensive line. Young players like Kieran Amagaji and whoever they draft, whether it's Josh Connerly Jr. or another interior lineman, would benefit from learning behind experienced pros. It's not just about depth, it's about building a strong unit with a next-man-up mentality. A solid O-line isn't just about the starters, it's about the guys who can step in when needed. So, what do you think? Should the Bears go after these veterans? Who else would you like to see them sign? And how do you feel about the current state of the offensive line? Let's hear it.